Independence Day for my American friends. So by the time this thing uploads, it'll probably be just after Independence Day. So happy Canada Day and happy Independence Day, folks. Quickest way to cool off your cooking thing without letting your food go cold. Dunk it in the stream. Just don't let the water go in. Ooh. It's really, really salty. Yeah. See, I thought about maybe getting some garlic mustard from back there and adding it into this, but I thought, well, I've never actually had it before. I'll give it a try as it is. And this way here, talking with my mouth full here. This way here, if either this or the canned corned beef, if it's something that I kind of like and I would add to, you know, like a food bag or whatever, for a camp trip, I would know more or less what spices I might want to add to it, what wild edibles I can sort of put in, you know. Up in Muskoka, we don't get loads of garlic mustard. It's actually kind of hard to find, kind of rare to find up there. So if I were to put a bunch of garlic mustard in here and went, oh, well, then, you know, this tastes fine, and then I get up to Muskoka where there is no garlic mustard and I eat it normally and turned out that, you know, I don't like it without the garlic mustard, you see my dilemma. So I just, right out of the can, just the way it came. It could use garlic mustard, paprika, jalapeno peppers would be awesome, steak spice even. But it's really not all that bad. It just needs less salt. I don't eat a lot of salt. I don't put salt in my food. I cook with it from time to time. I like it on cucumbers or occasionally sliced tomatoes, but not a big salt eater, so. But I'm hungry. I will eat it. Well, the sun's going to be down in about 30 minutes. As you can probably hear, people have already started with fireworks. Why, I don't know. It's still pretty bright out. Dinner was filling, if not particularly good. But as a camping food, I wouldn't turn it down. I laid out some more bedding into my shelter here, and it's a little bit more comfortable. It's a little bit more even now. I've evened it out. Got a nice pillow kind of set up. All in all, I don't think it's going to be all that bad a night. As you can probably hear, everyone's celebrating, having a good time. Unfortunately, I was wrong about the actual direction of the big firework demonstration. It's completely covered by trees and we can't see it. Well, guys, fireworks are going off. The fireflies are everywhere. There are fish jumping and top feeding just offshore. This is actually a really, really nice place. I mean, despite the lack of building material and how long it took me to get this shelter up, and the small fire, because lack of firewood as well. It's a nice place. I'm glad I came here. And I did see some fireworks. I did get some, which is kind of cool. But it is getting really dark. It is getting kind of late. I'm gonna lay here and watch the fire and just chill out until I fall asleep. So, see you guys in the morning for breakfast.
How about that, eh? 2 white-tailed deer. Just on the other side of the pond. Wow. Pardon me, holy jumpins'. Not my best night in the woods. It got kinda cold. Wherever that saw is, I wasn't really able to do much for firewood with this thing. Now, it dulled pretty quickly, and I don't know, it's almost like it's not stainless steel, and the coating that made it look like stainless steel started coming off. And it's probably not even properly hardened steel. So it dulled. It was pretty useless, I have to say. It got the job done. It built my shelter before it really dulled out and really started going real crappy. But did not have much luck with firewood. This came in handy to go and get firewood later in the evening, more or less. But if I would have brought sort of it's not really a blanket, it's kind of, it's like got a waterproof side to it or whatever, and it's kind of like a picnic blanket. If I would have brought that instead of the flashlight, I probably wouldn't have needed the flashlight because I would have been warm. But I had to go out and about and gather bits and pieces of firewood throughout the night to try to keep warm. So I'd sleep for a little bit, and then I'd sort of add to the fire, and every couple of times I'd have to actually go and look for more firewood. I kind of thought about doing some fishing. I had some bank line saved, and I was going to carve a fish hook, like a, not a gaff, I can't remember exactly what they're called. I was going to carve a fish hook, basically. This knife just wouldn't do it. And weird. Any part of it that was exposed to the air last night made it, I don't know, rust? So you see how it's, now if I close it, spoon did the same thing. really I didn't even use the spoon. Fork did the same thing. And so did the bottle opener, can opener. So, yeah. They're obviously no good. I don't even know if I want to eat with that right now. I've got my corned beef on fire. Flashlight's bright. I expected, for it to say that it was 900 lumens, I expected the light to travel farther. But it sort of, it doesn't do a beam, it kind of bathes everything in light. But all in all, it did okay. And then of course, you know, everything that I used in the construction of this thing here was alright. Oh. But yeah, if I were to go back and do things differently, I would probably not get the flashlight, and I would get like a blanket, keep warmer. Plus, it was like almost a full moon last night, and my little area was pretty well bathed in light, so. If this were my camp kit, and the very first thing I had to upgrade, see, I'd say this knife right off the hop, because as a knife it's useless, but this saw is now basically garbage. It's dull, it's very ineffective. I don't know. That's hard to say. If I had to continuously build something like this, then definitely the saw. But if I had a tent and I could, in theory, break up my firewood, you know, just jam it between two trees and break it, or, you know, kind of whatever, then definitely the knife. But if I had to continuously build something like this all the time, a saw. But as a knife, this thing's totally useless, and that was a bit of a letdown. As for that cup, not bad. Not bad at all. I'm kind of glad that I went with that instead of like a bread pan, cake pan, or a big dog bowl, or whatever that a lot of the other guys do. Now, I mean, that being said, I'm not boiling all my water. I carted it in, and not a whole lot left. Just enough for breakfast, which is pretty much ready. But yeah, it's almost like a little billy pot without a lid, and it did me just fine.
per 1/6 of this can, 500 milligrams of sodium. That's way too much salt. But other than that, it's not bad. I definitely like it better than the ham, the canned ham. Well, breakfast was all right. Way too salty for my tastes. But I could see like maybe a good soup being made out of it. But well, the fish are still jumping out here. I might come back to this spot with some proper camp gear and my fishing tackle. Maybe do a fishing trip. Well, guys, it's just about that time. Garbage is all packed. Fire is out. Basically, the only thing that remains is to tear this down and more or less put everything back the way I found it, and then off I go. Head back home. Not necessarily my best night in the woods, but definitely not the worst. This was still a fair bit of fun, all in all. But unfortunately, it's time to go, and I don't know exactly what I'm doing next. I've got a couple of camp trips planned, some of which I will be recording. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. At this point, I guess we'll see. See you guys in the next video.